Hi guys, Tabby here with another recorded game between myself playing Dark Elves and TBKesq playing Shaolin. Right, so I'm not going to go into the general strategy of the game because um, for that you can look at my posts on my blog, Oh My Void Monks. So I'm just going to talk about what I'm thinking about the match in general as we're playing it. Now, I have to say up front that I'm not 100% happy with how I played during this match. Um, but, well, I mean, I have the video anyway, so let's have a look. Right, so what's happening here is that I don't have any priestesses, so I'm trying to figure out ways to turn my cards and get those priestesses out. Um, Now, that said, he doesn't have any towers on the board either, so that's something I can possibly exploit. My Void Monks are out, two of them, but they're not a major factor in the Shaolin match because they get owned up by everything. You can't leave them in range of any Shaolin unit because of combos, and with monks and poisoners around, yeah, they just don't last very long. So now on this map, a crystal kill is generally not going to happen because the crystals are so far apart and the gem tile is so exposed. But I mean, you have to have something on the sword tile to protect the gem tile with. So that's what I'm going for here with Necro on the sword tile, protecting the gem tile. Um, yeah, and with VM in front to block for the Necro, because really it's not the Void Monks that are going to carry me in this match. It's probably going to be the Necro. Right, so let's submit and see what happens. Yeah, so I don't get any priestesses, which kind of sucks. It's a handful of equipment. Now the problem with equipment is that once you equip, you're essentially investing in that unit. So that means if you make a monster void monk or a +3 necro or something, it's vulnerable. You can, I mean, it could get sniped at any time, especially with poisoners on the board. And dragon still in hand and bamboo. It's really hard to avoid, getting your necros or other squishies sniped. So yeah, so I can't just slap the um gemstone on my necro and call it a day. I mean, that's just asking for it, right? At the same time, there's not much else I can do with the rest of the stuff here. So the sword, I can only equip either Void Monk, and neither of them are a good bet at the moment because of the poisoning, because of, I mean, I don't want to make a high value target, which could easily get poison dragon, right? Um, yeah, so I got to figure out a way to spend my stuff, or just outright swap it, right? I mean, if there's nothing better to do, I might just swap. Uh, right, so I'm doing this recording after the fact, so I honestly don't remember what I did. Uh, so I'll be looking at it with new eyes, same as the rest of you. Yeah, right. So that void monk was below. I think it was below a certain threshold, so I didn't want to get it sniped by the poisoner. Yeah, see that 770 life, which is enough. The magic threshold is 720 for most things. So that one hit got him above the threshold, so that's good. Um, at the same time, it doesn't turn any cards, and that's 3 AP. So I think I fed him a potion. Yeah, that's right. So I potted the void monk. Oh goodness. Right. So yeah, got sniped. Well, see, the good thing is at least I got a dragon and and poisoner in that trade, so it's not horrible, but it's pretty bad. Um, yeah, and I don't have any healing left. So what do I do? Now I would prefer to save the monk with the pot because um, I mean he's got a pot on him, right? So he's got plus 50 HP. So I'd like to invest in him if I could. But at the same time, he's the more wounded of the two. Uh, that said, TBK only has a shadow and a monk on the board. It's not too threatening. I mean, it depends on yeah. I mean, it depends on what he has. If he has another dragon, then I'm screwed. But just monk and shadow on the other side of the board, I don't think he can take this void monk right now. Uh, so okay, I think I'd have to double check that, but let's see what happens. All right, so here's a little tip. You see in my earlier move, I the void monk ended at about 420 life. So that was because I didn't equip the gemstone before I hit the poisoner. Right. So if I just adjust the order of what I did and equip before I hit the poisoner, I get a bit of extra HP out of that, and well, I mean that's for free, so there's no reason why I shouldn't do it. Okay, so now I have one AP left. What do I do? Um, yeah, I mean that void monk is. I'm pretty sure it's safe, but you know, I mean, it's no good to be standing out in the middle of nowhere tempting fate. Um, so I'd like to get him out of the way. Let's see. Yeah, right, that's right. I hit him behind the crystal, so that's a slightly safer spot than right in the middle of the stage. Uh, but yeah, so yeah. Okay, well, still no priestess, which kinda sucks. Right, so let's see what happens. Yep, so he couldn't kill my Void Monk, so he doesn't press. He stays back and decides to equip the uh, Shadow. Yep, so now I don't have any healing, so my number one priority is to keep that Void Monk alive. I invested in him, and now I have to make sure that I get a return on that investment. Uh, that said, I do still have to turn cards. So the choice this turn is basically between do I turn cards or do I go over and leech some life? Um, well, I mean, if I thought he was safe the last turn, there's no reason why he wouldn't be safe this turn. So maybe maybe I should turn some cards. I certainly don't want to invest any more in the units I have on the board without having a priestess in my hand to at least try to make a save if you know he decides to go all in and leave a unit KO'd but not stomped or something of that sort. Yep, so I decided to swap, use the door instead. So yeah, well, I mean, I'm not in a dangerous spot at the moment. I made some trades. Traded a dragon and a poisoner for a +2 necro and whoa, yeah, right. So TBK decides that the best move is to run over and debuff the Void Monk. I mean that's okay actually. I mean, um, yeah, that's how Shaolin deals with Void Monks. But at the same time, that cost him 5 AP, and now I have a priestess on the board, so it's I'm okay with that for now. Okay, so the shield tower is a great place for the priestess because physical resist, right? That's great. And the sword tile is a great place for the necro because it protects the gem tile. So that should be what I'm aiming for. I'm in no immediate danger, so yeah, I can build up a bit and get stuff on the board, um, and prepare for my next turn because he obviously has only a monk and a shadow on the board now, and that those aren't by themselves very threatening units. You really need a poisoner for me to be scared of you, but at the same time, these are two really beefy units, and there's very little that I can actually hurt him with if he's got a Taoist in his hand. And if he had a Taoist in his hand, I mean, if he didn't have a Taoist in his hand, I don't think he'd be spending 5 AP just running up and tapping me with the monk, right? He'd be trying his best to turn cards. Yep, so there's the Taoist. Right, so like I said, Priestess on the shield tile. I don't know why I'm putting that necro there. I really ought to have moved the imp down and the necro onto the sword tile instead. I really don't know what I was thinking here. So anyway, yeah, and the other thing you will notice is I put the vanilla wraith on the board in the back. Now this, you may have seen this move when I in my game against Ilagatua, and the real reason is because I it's really an anti-shadow move. So when a shadow raises one of my units, converts one of my units, he's at 100 HP, and under most circumstances, um, Shaolin won't have the time to heal up that converted unit. That means that the Wraith can just pop out, get a hit, eat the corpse, and retreat, right? So this means that it's quite easy to get a level 3 Wraith in this matchup. And uh, yeah, I mean, level 3 Wraiths are always good. Um, yeah, so in this case, he didn't even bother to raise it. He just straight out um, killed my necro without stopping. And if I had my imp there instead of uh, if I didn't have my necro that far out in front, if I had a necro on the sword tile instead, I might have been able to punish that by dragging the imp, using the imp to drag the windblade in range of the necro. But anyway, so yeah, I know I'm definitely going to feed a Wraith because a level 3 Wraith is a very useful asset in this matchup. What you really need is a big damage unit to take down the Shadow with. And there are only two ways to get big burst damage with Dark Elves, either the Imp or a level 3 Wraith. And Wraiths are a lot easier to keep alive than Imps. So that's why I'm happy to, sacrifice that Necro and feed the Wraith. Okay, so he decided to sword his Taoist. Now that's not, I mean, that's not always a bad plan. That's usually a good plan, in fact. Um, oh, wait. All right. So here what I'm doing here is I'm figuring out uh, I'm figuring out whether the poisoner can KO my Wraith in 5 turns with a dragon. So poisoner, move, attack, dragon, bamboo, right? So that's 5 AP. And this, in case you don't know what this is my Hero Academy damage calculator. So if you don't know where it is, I'll put a link to it in the video description. It's on, and there's a link to it on my blog. So it's a website, you can bookmark it. So what I did was I mean, there's lots of math in this game, and it's not always easy to figure out. So yeah, so if you don't want to figure all that math out every time you play, you can use the calculator. So I use the calculator in situations where I mean, the usual stuff like 300 damage turns into 240 when facing a 20% resist unit, that sort of thing. I'm sure everybody has that memorized by now, but the weird oddball units like Poisoner debuffs and the Wraith with its 30% resist, that sort of thing, the calculator comes in handy. Right, so TBK is playing rather passive. He's poisoning my units and retreating. And now, okay, now let me run that calculation again. So the previous turn, I calculated that he wouldn't be able to KO my Wraith, my level 1 Wraith, with just a Poisoner and the Dragon, right? So now let's see what happens. So that's the first hit. Second hit. So one hit, move, attack, Dragon. And is that dead? I didn't see. Yeah, that's right, that's dead. Minus 40 HP. So he can move, attack, dragon, stomp, retreat even. So that's a bad deal for me. So I have to keep that Wraith safe. So I think I retreated him behind the Gem Tower. Sorry, the Void Monk. So yeah, so this is turning out to be a bit of a stalemate. I can't attack in without, spending unreasonable amounts of material, and I don't think I can get much of a advantage from attacking right now anyway. Yeah, so let's see. Alright, so I'm trying out everything that I think might do something. So the Wraith cannot KO the Shadow even with a scroll, so that kind of sucks. He's only a level 1 Wraith after all, and neither can the Imp. There's still like 240 HP left, so I need to find 240 HP from somewhere. Incidentally, that's exactly one Imp, 300 damage Imp hit. So if I could somehow get TBK to leave 240 damage on the Shadow, I could KO him with the Imp if I was close enough. Yeah, so the previous move I had with the Wraith behind the Void Monk, that's really passive, so I don't really like it because, I mean, it's wasting my Wraith, right? I want to have the Wraith threaten stuff. I don't want to have the Wraith hiding in the background and, you know, not helping. Um, well, okay, it's always helping in the sense that if he decides to range top something with the Void Monk, I get another feed, but that's not fantastic, right? Okay, so here I'm calculating something again. Void Monk, right? So I'm trying to figure out if he can KO my Void Monk with the Poisoner and the Shadow, Sworded Shadow. Right, so that only brings me down to 85 HP, so my VM survives. Uh, what am I planning here? Well, it's obvious that I'm trying to get, you know, some damage left over on the shadow because that's a good deterrent. Um, but at the same time, it's kind of hard because, like I said, the Taoist it's a sworded Taoist there, so he can pretty much one shot heal all the splash damage that I can do with my Void Monks. So yeah, I mean, why wouldn't he spend that 3 AP to heal everybody up? Um, yeah, I mean, okay, so even then I still can splash his Taoist, hoping that, you know, he doesn't have a combo pot in his hand or he doesn't have another Taoist in his hand so that um, I can slowly whittle down the Taoist that way, but I don't know. I mean, it's not a winning solution. I'm just spending AP and he's being more AP efficient than I am. See, so I don't know. Yeah, see, I spent 4 AP right there. Move, attack, attack, retreat. He can undo that in 3 AP and have 2 AP left over to deploy a Taoist and heal up his sworded Taoist, which, yeah, I mean, that would suck. And I have a handful of stuff that I don't really need. So what I would really like here is yeah, I don't know. I don't know actually. This is kind of a stalemate. It's both of us staring at each other, thinking, how do I make something happen? Right, so in the end, I think this is what I go with. Using 3 AP to get some splash damage on, and the rest of the AP deploying the imp and trying to turn some cards. So I assume that he's going to heal up next turn, undoing, you know, the 3 AP that I just spent. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, I mean, hey, it's a stalemate, what can I do? Right, so as expected, he healed up his all the splash damage that I did, and he, interestingly enough, shielded the Taoist. I don't know why he shielded the Taoist actually. I would have thought that shielding the monk would have been a better idea, or even the poisoner. But yeah, he decided he wanted to shield the Taoist. Okay, he gets to shield the Taoist. I mean, yeah, right. So again, we're back in this stalemate. Um, I have to threaten something because I'm going to be at on the losing end of any stalemate. He has poisoners and monks that can uh, give lasting debuffs to me, whereas I don't have anything that I can't. I don't have anything similar. The only way that I can there's only two things that I can do to him that will last, and that's KOing his units out of range of his Taoist, so that his Taoist has to move out. I can um, entice his Taoist into a more vulnerable position, or I can do crystal damage. Now, I mean, like I said at the beginning, this is a really bad crystal map. Crystal kills don't happen all that often on this map. As you can see, I'm splashing the crystal in this move with my Void Monk, but the Taoist, being a sworded Taoist, can undo all my damage in what, 4 AP? Like res, heal, 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 and 1 AP left for like 10% crystal damage, which is not a lot. It's not anything. So on the other hand, I can sort of drag the Windblade out like so with the imp. And maybe I can use that last AP to retreat or something, but he's got his shadow there. So remember that his shadow can always res, even if it can't heal. So he can res, retreat, heal, and then he's more AP efficient than I am. So again, this whole thing is a story about how to make something happen. I mean, this I think is the reason why Dark Elves do poorly against Shaolin, because um, it's just so difficult for Dark Elves to crack a Shaolin turtle, whereas Shaolin doesn't need to care. Shaolin can just sit back, debuff more units, and wait it out. Sooner or later, he's going to be able to be in a position to dragon kill something important of mine, and then the Dark Elves will fall apart. So before that happens, I need to press. I need to make something happen. So now I like this positioning here. You notice that I moved the Wraith up to square C6. Sorry, C3. And the reason why I did that is because now it's in range. It threatens the monk, but at the same time, it's not directly vulnerable to any attack. Now, the Void Monk in front is vulnerable to attack, but he can't. TBK can't stop that Void Monk without spending serious amount of resources. So, and even if he does, if he uses the shadow to convert it or something, he can't retreat it, and my monk, my wraith will get another feed, and yeah. So that's fine. I'm setting up for my push into the Shaolin turtle. So now he's got to worry about that monk. I mean, it's not much to worry about. I mean, it's just a monk, right? But at least it's something. So TBK doesn't care. He helms the monk and deploys stuff. Right, you see here, Shaolin is so hard. Like even with sworded level 1 Wraith, I can't kill that monk. I can't even kill the monk, much less, eat the monk, much less eat the monk and get back to somewhere safe. So that sucks. Anyway, well, but at the same time, at least I got the Wraith into a slightly more threatening position. He has to worry about his monk now, and here I am trying to figure out whether I can make anything happen with the sworded Void Monk. And it doesn't look like I can do anything. Soul Bomb gives me pretty beefy HP bonus though. Yeah, so right, so my main aim is to keep some damage on the shadow. So as long as I have 160 damage or something on the shadow, that shadow is in danger of being scrolled by my Wraith. 60 damage, that's right. So if I have, oh wait, no, but that's no, that's not it. So I need at least 240 damage, that's right. So if I have 240 damage on that shadow, TBK is forced to heal the shadow before doing anything else. So that leaves him with only 4 AP to do anything, 4 AP to make something happen. Now, I know 4 AP sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot of AP for Shaolin because Shaolin has to spend lots of AP moving into position. So, like right now, Shaolin can't hit me at all. Not a single unit can hit any of my units. So if he wants to exploit the combos, he has to move 2 units. So that's 2 AP immediately. 2 AP for actually attacking. And that's 4 AP already. That's not enough AP to stop even if he could 2-shot anything, which I don't think he can. So yeah, so that's tough. And that's why it's a stalemate. So I can't kill him off directly. He can't kill me off directly either. As long as I keep the pressure up. Right, so this is what I decided to do. Move the Void Monk forward, heal it up while attacking and getting some damage on that shadow, more than 240, so it's within scroll kill range of the Impaler. Now what I'm hoping here is for him to spend 1 AP to heal the shadow, and then he won't have enough AP to take out the Void Mark anymore because he can't do it with 4 AP. So that will give me, well, that gives me potential to get something done because now I have an additional Impaler in range. So yeah, let's see what I can do with that. Oh yes, and the forward Void Monk is standing on the gem tile. So now I actually have the option of doing significant gem damage. Now, remember in the beginning I said that this wasn't exactly a crystal kill map. So the reason why is because this gem tile is kind of exposed. I mean, it's in the middle there. You can see it's within range of the shadow. But at the same time, I mean, if you're in a Shaolin turtle situation, you don't have any choice. You need to either get unhealable damage or crystal damage, because you just have to. I mean, there's no way that I'm gonna break into that Shaolin turtle, right? So yeah, here you see me trying to find ways to deal damage such that TBK will have to respond. So that means more than 240 damage on the shadow. If I do more than 240 damage on the shadow, he has to heal it up, otherwise my imp will take him out the next turn. And so with that with that AP I have, I can slowly wear down his crystals. See, in this situation, he would have to heal the shadow one, um, and then only 4 AP left, he can't kill the Void Monk in front, so he'd have to heal. I mean, his best option would probably be to heal up the Poisoner and Monk as well. Notice also that my Wraith is within range of the Monk, so if he doesn't heal the Monk, I can move the Wraith forward, KO, and eat the Monk, and hopefully retreat. I think I can retreat. And yeah, I mean, that's something worth uh, doing. I mean, getting a level 3 Wraith is a big deal. So yeah, you notice that he did basically what I expected him to do, which is to heal up. And then he equips the Taoist again, so now he's got a +3 Taoist. I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, I mean, Taoists are important, yes, but you could do a lot more with that equipment. I'm just saying. Anyway, so now here I'm beginning to doubt my strategy a little bit because, as you noticed, he spent 2 AP healing the monk, 3 AP healing the monk, shadow, and poisoner, and then he had 2 AP to do whatever he wanted. I feel like long term this might not be the best solution because yes, I'm doing maybe 10 to 15% gem damage per turn, but I mean you can't rely on that to win the game. I mean, eventually I'm going to have to splash the top crystal, right? And there's no way that I can splash the top crystal and threaten the shadow at the same time. So here I'm desperately trying to find a way to get an advantage. And yeah, look at this move. It's a nice, sexy move. You pull the shadow off the sword tile and you use the sword tile to KO the shadow. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, but then he can just res the shadow, right? What's the big deal? If he does that, notice that he has to move forward to square C6, just in front of the monk. So if he moves there to res the shadow, he has to spend 2 additional AP to heal the shadow to full. My imp is still on the sword house, so I can easily scroll kill the shadow next turn again, or I don't think I even need a scroll for that, or take out his Taoist, or I can get a good deal out of that. Either the +3 Taoist or the +3 shadow. Now the exception is if he manages to 2-hit KO my Impaler. So if he can 2-hit kill my Impaler, 1, 2, 3 move the Taoist down to the sword tile, 4 res the shadow, 5 heal the shadow, then that's a bad deal. So you should know by now that a poisoner plus a vanilla unit will kill a 800 HP no resist unit in 2 hits. But I'm playing Dark Elves and the Impaler has 860 HP. So I'm thinking he can't 2-hit kill my Impaler, so he'll have to make a trade. And I mean, if it takes 3 AP to kill the imp, for example, then it's just attack, 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 move, res, and then I can just eat the shadow with my Wraith. However, I failed to see something. Can you see it? That's right. He can 2-hit kill the Impaler because he's got a sworded, potted Taoist there. Like, how did I not see that? So, I'm screwed. Right, so no, I'm not screwed. I lost my Impaler and scroll, true, but that's not, I mean, that's not game-ending damage by any means. He did make a +3 towers after all, right? So consider my scroll as an equivalent of that +3 towers. So yeah, I mean, what should I do? Um, 45 HP. Well done, Shadow. Well done. So yeah, now I kind of mess up my positioning as well. You notice that the shadow is now not directly adjacent to the bottom gem anymore, so the I can't splash the shadow and the gem and the bottom crystal at the same time. So that's a downside for me. That makes me more AP inefficient. So that's bad. On the bright side, the shadow is no longer on the sword tile, so he can't directly kill my VM, my forward Void Monk, um, right now. Um, Still, I need to maintain pressure. I need to keep it up. Otherwise, um, yeah, he's just going to take that momentum and run with it, and I'm going to be screwed. So I'm considering now, in terms of threats, I'm trying to move the Wraith up forward because notice in the previous position at C3, the Wraith could only reach the monk, right? Um, Now, in this position C4, he can hit the Windblade, the monk, or the shadow, which is slightly better, I guess. Um, Being that I lost the bottom imp threat, so I need to continue to threaten. Otherwise, he'll just have enough AP to wreck me, right? Okay, so TBK retreated the Windblade. Um, yeah, I still can't kill that shadow. 120 HP, damn it. Well, anyway, yeah, so he retreated the Windblade to avoid giving me a free eat on my Wraith. I mean, that's important, but I don't know. It blocks his deploy tile, so maybe doesn't care about deploying any more stuff. He's got enough stuff on the board already. Yeah, so maybe I need to focus on the crystals now. It looks like I can almost wear down that bottom crystal, no problem. The top crystal will, his poisoner back there, I mean, I think it's trying to guard the top crystal, but it'll get splashed down by my Void Monk if I can leave my Void Monk there. Right, so it looks like I do run the calculator. So here it is. That's my Hero Academy damage calculator. I'm just keying in all the stuff that my Void Monk has. Yeah, Monk debuff. Boo, Monk debuff. Right, so I assume that they can heal, rest the Poisoner. So Poisoner attacks the Void Monk. And one dragon will leave me with negative 20 HP. So that's no good. Let's see what else I can do. Right, so I can try and take out... Well, I mean, I should keep them in mind if I ever have to make that play. But let's see what I can do on the bottom crystal. So I can leave the bottom crystal at negative... sorry, not negative. At 1455 HP if I go all out on the bottom crystal. But yeah, so that Void Monk is not going to survive if TBK really wants to take it out, right? So that's no good. Actually, does he even have to use the dragon to do it? No, no, he doesn't, right? So, yeah, maybe it's worth it to sacrifice that Void Monk and let swap a Void Monk for a dragon. I do that. So what my calculation is basically if he doesn't spend a dragon, so he um, attacks with the poisoner, attacks with the Taoist, reses with the no, it's attack, res, retreat. Right, and so if he retreats, I can follow up with my Wraith and get a free eat. So that's not too bad. I mean, um, that Void Monk wasn't going to live for long anyway. So to recap, it's attack, res, retreat. I can deal with that. Or attack, res, stomp. Yeah, I can still deal with that because then he would have to leave his +3 uh, his +3 Taoist unguarded, or I could yeah, so that's good for me as well. Uh, the only downside is if he stomps with the bamboo, and that would kind of block off the crystal, which is not that great. But well, I mean, if he's willing to spend the bamboo on just a vanilla Void Monk, hey, I can deal with that. And it's not like he can like retreat the Void Monk and get a +3 Void Monk and wreck my world or anything, so that's fine. You may have noticed another error. What is it? Oh my god. how did he how did he kill that Void Monk? How did that happen? My calculator says Shaolin. Oh, let me reload. Let me do that again, right? Because I'm pretty sure I saw 55 HP left. What happened? So attacker, Shaolin, defender, Dark Elves, Void Monk. First you got a poison attack, then you got Taoist attack. Taoist is on the attack tile and with sword, 55 HP. What gives? What gives is, I forgot about the combo. Oh damn. Right. Shit. Okay. Right. So the bright the good thing about it is that he just bambooed the Void Monk. He didn't like decide to res it and pot it and retreat or something, so that I would have to deal with a +3 Void Monk later. But yeah, that sucks. So what do I do now? I've made two huge blunders, and yeah, I'm down on material, I'm down on positioning, sort of, I'm down on equipment. So yeah, in a situation like this, all I have is that gem tile. I'm going to milk that gem tile. So my Wraith can actually two-shot the crystal at this point. That's not bad. I mean, then I don't have to worry about the bottom crystal anymore. I can get out of the way of the bottom crystal, but he's still got a bamboo. He's still got a dragon. He can, he can do stuff still. So let's see if it's better for me to use the Wraith or to save the Wraith and use the Void Monk. But the Void Monk can't kill a gem off in this turn. And if I don't kill that crystal this turn, or threaten something that, you know, means that I get to take the initiative next turn, he's going to close off those crystals and I won't have a game left. So I think it's pretty much a must that I just have to take the bomb crystal and leave the wraith there. Now I know that he can kill that wraith, no problem. Even if he has to spend the dragon, I'm sure he will kill the wraith. But and I don't think he needs to with the poisoner and pre-potted Taoist there. Well, let's check anyway, right? So I got this calculator here, might as well use it. Right, so my wraith has maximum of 1120 HP, but he's currently at 980. So that's about right. That's the max health. And what happens is (130 HP), so one more attack. Yeah, screw it, no. Okay, let's try another combination. Okay, so now he has to move poisoner, move Taoist, attack. Okay, let's see what happens if he uses a dragon. Might still survive, kind of. Oh, right, but I don't have 1100 HP. I have 98 right now. Oops, that's 98 current HP, not max HP, right? So 980 current HP. Poison attack, dragon attack. Still survive a dragon. I can still survive a poisoner plus dragon. But can I survive a poisoner plus pre-potted Taoist? No. Exactly zero. Exactly zero. Good job. Well. So he can definitely do that. He can do move, attack, stomp. And he can even res it with the shadow, right? So, but that will take all 5 AP. And once he spent all 5 AP there, my Void Monk can then attack the top crystal. And you saw in the previous, in my testing, that I can take out the top crystal and the poisoner behind that crystal in 5 AP. And leave that top crystal with about 2100 damage left. So what are my options after that? I need to get another, I need to guarantee another 2100 damage after that. So if I leave my Void Monk there, I know that he can take it out with the Taoist res poisoner, attack, dragon, stomp. Yeah, I think he can do that. So what are my other options? I can use the Impaler to attack for another 1800 damage. That leaves me with 300. And then finally I have the Soul Bomb that can deal a big chunk of damage if he lets me keep that Crystal Tile, which I think he must, because otherwise he won't have enough HP to, it won't have enough crystal health to survive. Right, so he did what I expected him to do. He killed the Wraith. I'm actually surprised that he chose to move the Taoist back on the sword tile, because I think at this point he should realize that I am totally gunning for that crystal kill. So perhaps moving the poisoner onto the sword tile might have been a better idea, just so that he can control that gem tile. But I'm not complaining at this point, right? So okay, so execution of the previous plan. So I'm just trying out ways to, I mean, I don't really want to stand in that square because if I can save that +3 Void Monk, I want to. Um, just because, yeah, I mean, I want to force that dragon out because that dragon will totally ruin my day. I know it will. So if I can make it harder for him, if I can somehow save that Void Monk, then that would be great. The other thing to consider is that he can stop the Void Monk using the bamboo. Now remember when previously my plan was to use the Impaler to follow up for 1800 damage. Now, if he stops using the Shadow, for example, he converts the Void Monk, I can move my Impaler to A4, square A4, attack the converted Void Monk, drag him off, move forward, and attack twice. So that's assuming that square B6 and B7 are otherwise occupied, right? So that's the good thing about Impaler. It can drag away units that are protecting that gem, that crystal. On the other hand, bamboo cannot be dragged. So if he stops using bamboo, then I have to go in at B6 or B7, and that will be in range of the wind blades, which generally not a good idea. Okay, so he used the dragon and yep. Okay, right. So 300 damage, 400 damage left. 300 damage left on that crystal. Okay, moment of truth. Can I get this done? Right. So my greatest worry is that I won't be able to reach that gem tile, that crystal. So I need, if he lets me have that gem tile, I can soul bomb the crystal and take it out from anywhere on screen. So that's fine. But if he somehow takes out my the Void Monk on the crystal tile, I'm gonna have to work through stuff to get to that crystal, right? And and yeah, it's not gonna be easy because he's still got monks, he's still got the shadow, um, and I am definitely at a deficit here. So, and he's got bamboo, you know. So let's see what I do. Yeah, I'm just trying out the different ways. 300 damage. Actually, if he doesn't kill my Void Monk, I have two ways of getting at the crystal, right? So, which ignore line of sight. One way is to use the Impaler to drag, the other is to use Void Monk Splash. Um, I don't think he can kill both uh, Impaler and Void Monk this turn. Now, if he placed the poisoner on the sword tile last turn, he might have been able to by using the Windblade combo. So, if attack you attack poison poison, Windblade, stomp stomp. So that might have been yep. Good defense, but not enough with the soul bomb and the gem towel. So that's it. Alright, well, I have to say I'm not really happy with my performance this game. I made several major errors in the mid game. I had a really poor start, poor decision making in the start with my positioning of the Necro and so on. But I managed to squeeze it out with with a crystal kill in the end. Thank you TBK for this game, and I hope all of you enjoyed this. Have a